Good afternoon. It's Courtney Morrison with Made Architecture and Design coming to you with another week in review. So, last weekend we had family birthday parties on Saturday. Got to see the family, spend some time with the family. Ended up outside a good bit, even though it was pretty chilly, but it was a good time. And then on Sunday we had church and lunch with some friends who really are great friends, but just due to life schedules and situations, we really don't get to spend that much time together. So it was nice to spend Sunday afternoon with them and just sit around, talk. We had a fire going. Our daughter was playing with their children, and everybody gets along pretty well. So it was great. Really, really fortunate to get to spend time with them. Monday was MLK Day. We were here in the studio working working on this owner suite edition that I've talked about. Really, the primary goal this week was to get the drawings for that wrapped up and squared away, and we are very close. So to having that done and getting the structural engineer going as well. So hopefully we'll get that one out the door next week and get it permitted and ready for construction. So we are excited about that. And then on Tuesday, I went and met a structural engineer who we're working on a project together. And we have a big project. It's 10,000 square feet, super modern house. I put some renderings of it on our Instagram account. You can see them there on our website. And it's a big house, and it's very modern. It has some really complex, places and situations where it takes a lot to coordinate the structural engineering, the steel that goes into it, and the architecture. And so he and I sat down for a couple of hours and talked through what it is we thought we would do, things we would adjust, things that I needed to move or he needed to move, and just try to figure out what was going to be best in those situations. So it was a really productive meeting. We've worked together on a couple things, but we actually haven't met face to face. It was the first time we got to do that. So that was really nice to go up and meet him and sit down and talk through this project. This project should start construction here in the first quarter. And so really excited to get that one out and going. It'll be a great project once it gets going. So excited for that. And then on Wednesday morning, I left the house early, went to Starbucks and worked a little bit ahead of a meeting, kind of doing just some housekeeping stuff, a little bit of personal work. And then I had a meeting with a gym owner who is a return client for me, which is a huge compliment as an architect that you've done a good enough job on one project that they'll invite you back for a second one. So that's a really big honor. I don't take that lightly. But in this case, they own a current gym, and it's actually two business situation in one building, and the businesses are commingling, I would say, and there's an opportunity to buy the building that they're in. And so they asked me to come out and walk through and talk with them about what it is they could do or want to do in that existing building. And so really in that meeting, I just want to hear everything they're thinking, right? Just let it all out. Tell me what it is your kind of hopes and dreams are, how you use the building, things like that. So we walked through and talked about adding space, needing more storage, a second level, more office space, those sorts of things. And so I got to hear that and talk through things with them in terms of, well, if you enlarge the building and you lose parking, we might have a zoning issue because there's a minimum parking requirement. So we'll have to figure that out. You'll need a survey for that if you do it that way. If you're adding floor space, you may need more restrooms. And so and they're going to have to meet the accessibility requirements. So we talked through that a little bit. So all of those things that I can kind of start to put into their minds from a high level perspective. And really, I just want to get to know them and hear what it is, because really every business owner has a unique perspective of their business, what they want it to be, how they want it to function, what their hopes and dreams are. And that's what I want to hear so that we can work as architects to translate your vision into the built environment. And really what I always tell clients on the commercial side is it's a branding exercise. You really will never spend that much money on advertising as you do on a building project. And so if you're going to spend, a few $100,000 or whatever it is to build an office or build a space, a restaurant, whatever your endeavor, it's a branding exercise. So we need to make the space congruent with your business and your vision for your business. Who do you want to attract from a clientele or customer standpoint or an employee standpoint? If you want people to come and work for you, you want to have a space that represents what it is you do really well. Same for clients. You want that space to tell a story. So it's a branding exercise. That's what we always tell people on the commercial side. So if you're a commercial client and you have a vision for your business, drop a comment below, send us a message. We'd love to chat with you about what it is you have going on and see if we are the right architect to serve you. So that was a lot of fun. Felt like I provided a lot of value there, and I really hope that they are able to purchase that and that project can go forward. So we'll keep you posted on that one. And then on Thursday, more time in the studio in the morning, working on the owner suite edition a little bit. And I've mentioned the ceiling renovation that we have with the interior designer in a previous video. And so worked on that a little bit. Her and I had some back and forth coordination things that we had to work out. So that should really get wrapped up next week as we wrap up the owner suite this week. On Thursday, I went to a networking event. So our local business association hosts a Thursday afternoon meet and greet gathering. It's pretty informal, but really this year I'm trying to be better about connecting with people. If it's virtually in cases like this in this video, or in person, trying to schedule lunches and coffee and things like that, and just talk to people and talk to them about what they're doing, talk to them about what I'm doing, and seeing if we can grow the network a little bit, and really trying to favor connection or relationship over opportunity. So working through that. I've been to this particular event before, but it's been almost a year ago, so I went back, and I really am planning to go again. So I'm excited about that. It was really productive, had some great conversations, met some great people. So we'll see how that progresses as we move forward and what connections come out of that. So that was Thursday. And then Friday, I had some back and forth with my accountant. And I think in the first week in review video here in 24, I talked about doing an end of the year review with my accountant, which we did. And there was something that came up in that call where we were walking through the books. And so I'll give kind of a specific example. I don't know if any other small business owners out there have run into this, but I'm not an accountant. I do my best to understand the financial side of the business, but it's foreign to me if I'm just being perfectly candid. And I sometimes have pass-through payments. I hire a landscape architect or an interior designer to serve my clients, and my clients pay me and I pay them. Well, that money that goes to the consultants is not revenue for me and my business, and so it's a pass-through amount, and so it shouldn't show up as revenue. Well, I'm working in QuickBooks, and I don't really understand QuickBooks very well. I talked to the accountant about what it is I think I need to do, and I didn't do it well, and so my accounting really had turned into a jumbled mess. And when I talked to him at the end of 23, we pinpointed some items that they needed to review. So thankfully, somebody in my accountant's office combed through the books, was able to correct it and get it to show up correctly. And so I'm really, really grateful to have them as part of my team. So if you're a small business owner and you don't have a good accountant, I'd be happy to recommend mine, one. And two, you find somebody who you can consider a part of your team who can help you with your books. And when you get into a situation like that, will help you correct them. And so next week, they're actually going to train me how to do it correctly, which I'm really grateful for. To me, that's above and beyond service, that I don't have to go search the web for, QuickBooks training. I don't want to be a QuickBooks expert, right? I want to be an architecture expert, and I want to be able to rely on other people to help me with QuickBooks when I need it. And so that's really what they're doing. So that's just a snippet of being a small business owner. Thankfully, I didn't do anything that we couldn't correct. I didn't do anything that's costing me money. And so really, they're being very helpful, and the situation is rectified, and it'll be corrected going forward. So like I said, I'll get some training next week on that, probably give another update in next week's Week in Review. So that should be fun, just adventures in small business ownership. And then today, finishing up that Owner Suite edition, just working on the reflected ceiling plan, adding in some detail to the drawings and things like that, and coordinating with the structural engineer who will issue a package with me. And hopefully we'll get that out the door no later than the end of next week, and that one will go for permit and hopefully start construction soon so that family can start enjoying their space as soon as possible. So that's all I've got for you this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and I will answer them in subsequent weeks. I'll read them out and respond to them. So hopefully we can get a little dialogue going that way. I'd love to hear from you guys. like and subscribe if you feel led. And we look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.